You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Dr. Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, Movo University, Vita Chiropractic, the Universal Tractioning System, Imaging Services, Ignite Marketing, and Zing It Solutions. Let's hustle. Chester coming to you today. This is a sponsorship episode. I have Acen Hansen over there in Boise, Idaho with Legacy Wealth Management. I am over here in Grand Junction, the Grand Valley, the western slope of Colorado, which I like to say no one lives. I came here to hear the birds chirp, so here we have it. So Acen, thank you for joining me today on the live stream.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
And I know that you guys help people with their financial situations. I know that most common issues with money, like I discussed with you offline, is people make it, they save it, they put it in a checking account. What else do they do with it?
Yeah, well, if they're saving it and put it into a checking account, at least they're taking a step in the right direction. Oftentimes, we see a lot of people who make the money and then they spend it. Comes in and it's out the next minute. So I'd say the first step to really being financially responsible is to save a meaningful portion of your income, and then we work with them often to have a plan, get organized, get everything together into one cohesive picture, and so that they know that what their marching orders are to accomplish their goals. Oftentimes, especially our chiropractic clients, they want to be able to be in a position where they don't have to go into the office every day, but where they get to go into the office every day. We talk, all of our chiropractic clients, they talk about just never really retiring. Sorry, I just got a phone call.
They talk about never really retiring.
Yeah. They talk about never really retiring because they just have a passion for what they do. They just want to heal people, and as Dr. Steve Franson says, they want to check spines and change minds. I think our goal is to help them get to the point where they could do that for free theoretically if they wanted, because they know that all of their needs are going to be taken care of, all their wants are going to be taken care of, and they're living their best lives. So.
Well, I know one of the avenues that you do for people is planning. Let's talk a little bit about what that looks like and how you can, I say you guys unsubluxate people's financial futures. So that's my chiropractic spin on what you guys do. But what's it look like to start planning for somebody?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Oftentimes our very first initial conversation with someone, there are exceptions to this. We may end up talking about this later, but oftentimes it's just, we just ask them about everything we can. We dive deep into their world. We're working on getting what the P&Ls are for the clinic, understanding, the cash flow, what the revenue potentially is, how many employees they have, if they have any sort of benefits that they're offering, what their tax returns look like. We often ask for last year's tax returns or the last 2 years worth, because we can find often a lot of opportunities to help save money on taxes that way too. I mean, we're not CPAs or anything like that, but our office is very well equipped to comb through those documents to try to find areas to help save some money, and keep it, rather than give it to Uncle Sam.
Yeah, and I get that too. And I know one of those things that you typically lean towards once you start figuring out how to save some people money by planning is you go into that phase of investing. Let's talk about a little bit about why it's so important to use the assets that people are controlling to invest in things to see their wealth grow.
Yeah, so there's a few different reasons that we like the investment side of things. One of them, is just simply, we find that you can do a retirement plan through the clinic to be able to, invest your own money to get going, but also potentially help set up your employees. Sometimes that helps with the churn rate of employees coming in and out, and things along those lines. So that's one that's really simple that we can find. There's a lot of tax incentives and credits and programs that are available when you're a business owner, and you hire people, or you own your own building, or things along those lines. There's investment opportunities that somebody may or may not qualify for that can be extremely tax efficient. One of them, just an example of one, could be getting into an oil investment that has a lot of intangible drilling costs. So roughly 80 to 90% of your investment money could be written off because of those drilling costs. So there's a lot of different types of strategies that go into the investment side of things that we utilize to help save money from taxes, but also put that money to work so that you're getting a meaningful rate of return. Your money's actually making money. You're able to again save money on taxes. If you're looking for additional income, there's a lot of investments out there that can provide tax efficient income as well. So we just really want to, during the planning, we take time to dive deep into their world, understand what their objectives are, understand what their current situation looks like if they do have rental properties, or investment accounts that they've been working with for a while. We're able to take all that stuff, develop a strategy for it to make sure that everything's being as efficient as possible. And I like what you said, that we unsubluxate their finances. So we usually kind of say that we just help align their finances and just get it all together and working cohesively.
So I guess this is a big question that many people probably don't ask, but I'm going to. Why is it so important to have a trained professional helping with the services that you provide?
That's a really good question. And that's something, I think the big thing is really just, you don't know what you don't know. I think of it similar to why would you go to a chiropractor? I can pop my own neck, right? But there's so much more to chiropractic than just adjusting your neck or adjusting your back. It's understanding the nervous system and the above down inside out principle. And it's the same type of thing here. Everybody's like, when we talk to people who maybe don't fully understand all that we can do, they're like, oh, well, I can manage my own investments. I can buy Apple stock myself. It's like, yeah, you could do that, but that's not what we're here for. That's not what you hire us for. You hire us to help you work with your CPA and ask the right questions and save you, 50 grand a year on taxes or whatever the number is. And then, you hire us because we have knowledge of investment opportunities that you're not going to find on your own, and programs and incentives and things along those lines that I'd say 99% of people don't know about, and that's really where we bring the value. We're not huge fans of getting client money into the stock market. We're not here to make Wall Street rich. We're just here to make our clients rich. And so we're not your everyday stock pickers. We're kind of macro strategists planning on a higher level. We understand even the other side of things where, if you're in the stage of your career where you're starting to think about the next chapter and, what are you going to do with the clinic? We help with succession planning. We help with, structuring buy-sell agreements and things along those lines. Tax and estate planning. We're very adept at anything that has to do with the dollar. We're very adept at doing. The only thing that we're not is, we're not a bank.
Sure.
But other than that, that's what we're here for is to really provide context, and understanding and simplicity on a lot of areas that, again, people may not know that they need to think about, or may not know that that's available.
Yeah, one of those things that I take away from this is so many times we just it's kind of like the old saying, like, if you go to like a auto shop and you need work done, that you should get 2 to 3 quotes on something before you go through and do work with people. And I don't think that people understand that just going to a bank and trusting a banker is different than going to an investor and somebody that actually has their interest in mind and not the capital gain of the bank. So I think that it's important for people to know that, what you guys do is a service above and beyond what a typical banker is going to be in your interest to do.
Yes, exactly. Not to say that you don't need a banker. You do need a good banker,
Sure.
but yeah, it's just, you need really kind of a board of directors, so to speak, for your life, and a high quality personal banker is one of those people. Strong CPA is one of those people. Financial planner is one of those people. And I would say some sort of attorney, whether that's a business attorney or an estate attorney, those that'd be one of those people as well.
I guess the
And
next question is Acen, why
it just goes back to, you don't know what you don't know. There's so many different programs and opportunities and investment type assets that we deal with every day. I mean, this is my full time job. This is what I get paid to do. And because of that, I know a lot more about just the overall world here than your everyday individual is going to be, or your everyday chiropractor is going to be. Um, and I think that's the big reason that somebody, and not to say that they couldn't do it by themselves, but then when you're doing it by yourself, you're pulling so much of your attention from what you're really good at, that you're doing yourself a disservice. You should be focusing that energy on uh, unsubluxating people's nervous systems. That's really that's really what it is. It's stop trying to be a jack of all trades, and just let yourself be the best chiropractor, or whatever somebody's profession is. We're obviously talking primarily chiropractors. Um, and just be the best chiropractor you can be, and let me be the best asset manager you've ever worked with. And hire a great CPA to be the best CPA that you can work with. Hire somebody great to be uh, whatever, your billing specialist in the office. You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to do everything, because you're going to be a 5 or a 6 in all those departments, and just let yourself be a 10, and hire other people to be tens in the other areas that matter.
that's just it, is that's why most successful people have coaches. And
Right.
I see what you guys are is no different than a coach, but a financial coach, getting people to the point where they make good decisions, and you push them, not push them, but you show them the way to like a better strategy for themselves to have long-term success, to when they're ready to retire. They're not saying, hey, it's not all about the money, but it sure as heck is when you get to the point where you're ready to retire and you don't have any. And I think
Yeah, exactly.
I think that that's a nail on the head right there. Is most people that come into chiropractic, and I'll say it, they kind of come into chiropractic with a Peace Corps mentality, to give, love, serve, but they don't realize at the end of the day it's about give, love, and serve, and save and invest, and have a good quality of income coming in, and managing it properly, to where when your last adjustment's done, that when you're riding off into the sunset, you have something to sit on for the next 30 years.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that's one of the reasons that we love working with chiropractors so much, is because they do have that give, love, serve attitude, right? Like, every chiropractor we've met is on a mission. And for the most part, it's the same mission. They're all on a mission to heal the world, and to get them off of drugs in the medical model, for the most part. Um, and we love and respect that, but at the same time, it's obvious that when there's no money, there's no mission. And so we help take care of the financial aspect of things, so that you can focus on fulfilling your mission, and we can focus on making sure that there's money there so that you can fulfill your mission to your heart's content, and you can know that when it is time, like you said, when it is time to ride off into the sunset, that the horse has plenty of energy to get you there.
So really what you guys do is you do structure, you do systems, and you do efficiency stuff to make sure that people's time is maximized to where they're getting the maximum input from you to make sure that they're getting the best resources coming back to them to know that, not only are they taken care of, but their loved ones as well.
Yeah, that's the plan, right? I mean, make our clients' lives better, and then hopefully help them develop a plan so that the success that they've attained in their life can be built upon for future generations.
Yeah. So the next thing I think we should chat about is we have a big event coming up that we're both going to be involved in. It's called Chiro Sushi. And then we'll talk about a couple more events that you'll be attending for the remainder of this year for the chiropractic space. But let's talk about Chiro Sushi. And by the way, if you guys are interested in going to Chiro Sushi, you go to the checkout, you can put Chester in as a code and you can get 50% off of your ticket to come to Chiro Sushi. It's 10 days away. So, anytime you can save people money, that's always a cool thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's talk Chiro Sushi and talk a little bit about why you're excited to be teamed up with this group of chiropractors.
Yeah. We love Chiro Sushi. We met Tristan not at the Cal Jam for 2018, but at the Cal Jam for 2017. Only briefly spoke to him. We didn't really get a touch base until after Chiro Sushi of 2017, but we've been working with him for almost a year, and I think one of the things we love about Chiro Sushi is their mission is very much in line with ours, right? His big thing, he's like, how can we help chiropractors in their 70s? And we're like, well, yeah, that's exactly, you're saying it, you're saying the same thing that we are, and so we really appreciate the Chiro Sushi approach to chiropractic, because it's it is about it's less about the what's the word I'm looking for, less about the philosophy and the practice management side of things, and it's more about be a good steward over your money, be a good steward over your business, understand the business side of things. How can you increase the financial flow so that you can again have the money for the mission that you're on. And so we really do appreciate Tristan and all that he's done for chiropractic thus far. We're looking forward to working with him going forward. And we're going to be I guess two things. We're going to be able to speak. We're speaking on stage for I think roughly 20 minutes. We're right before Billy DeMoss, so there's no pressure there. And then we're also actually hosting a luncheon, and Tristan just changed it on us. We were going to be helping sponsor your video, but it's being changed to I think like a panel for Black Diamond Club and Close for Chiro or something along those lines. So
that's great.
If you're part of one of those groups, we're looking forward to seeing you Saturday at our lunch that we're sponsoring.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Close for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Dr. Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, Movo University, Vita Chiropractic, the Universal Tractioning System, Imaging Services, Ignite Marketing, and Zingit Solutions. Let's hustle.
We're looking forward to seeing everybody there. Yeah, come visit. Listen to Pete's going to be the one representing our firm up on stage before Billy DeMoss, and then I'll probably take some time during the lunch on Saturday to talk. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Well, it's great. If you guys didn't know, both Sean Dill and Dan Bay in the Close for Chiro group and the Black Diamond Club, those guys also sponsor Chiro hustles. So it's very congruent with, you guys sponsoring the luncheon with those guys because we all support each other. And I think that's the part that we're really getting better at right now as a cohesion within chiropractic is we have megaphones like myself and Tristan. We have people that are specialists that serve the chiropractic community, like what you guys do, like what Close for Chiro does, what Black Diamond Club does. So we have these very aligned groups of people doing their superpower to help people with those aspects of their growth and their potential. And I think that, when you have a consistency in the marketplace with marketing and branding and strategy, you have consistency in the marketplace with financial freedom and consistency and planning. I think that these things really align with each other. And then you can teach business strategies like the Black Diamond Club does. And then you can teach people how to have superstar communication in order to get people into care and keep them under care. I think when you talk about everything that we're doing, and then you bring all these people, like you mentioned, Billy DeMoss under the big top, out in Vegas. And we have, all these dynamic speakers. I couldn't even tell you the amount of people that are going to be there, but the names of like Liam Schubel, Fred Schofield, Billy DeMoss, and so much fire. Barbara Eaton and all the people she's bringing and all the other people that are, honestly, it's going to be a who's who of chiropractic influencers. And if anybody's not there, I highly recommend them to go to the checkout section on the Chiro Sushi page, put Chester in as a code, and you're going to get 50% off of your fees to come out there for your ticket. But that being said, where else are you going to be for the remainder of 2018? I know you said you got a Maximize Living event. You're going to go out to the Genesis Pediatric Conference, and there's something else you're going to?
Yeah, and then the Florida Chiropractic Association does the big national event every year. I think it's I can't remember if it's August or September, but we're going to be there as well. We're just, we're kind of higher level sponsors for a lot of the events we go to, but we're just a vendor at the FCA National. So if you're going to be going to that, we'd love to have you stop by our booth and say hi. And then like you said, we're going to the Genesis event with Dr. Stewart, Dr. Teresa Warner, and then Maximize Living. I think that's it for the rest of our year with chiropractic events.
Well, that's all good stuff. And I know that people really, they want nuts and bolts stuff. And if somebody came to you and they were a little bit in disarray about their financial status or their financial freedoms or their financial past, let's talk about some maybe one or two wins that you've seen recently that you guys have taken on as a client. And let's talk people through some nuts and bolts stuff.
Yeah, couple of wins. So the first one that comes to mind, we're actually currently working with them. Not a chiropractor. They were actually a sponsor at another chiropractic event that we went to earlier this year. They do some nutraceutical supplements, and their business is doing really well. You want to talk about somebody who's a hustler for chiropractic. It's this guy. We can't share names, but it's this guy in their company, and they've got a lot of stuff going on. We're still currently working with them on getting a few things going, but just some examples is his wife's business is also doing really, really well, and they actually are giving away 75% ownership to some other members of her family, so they can kind of help run it a bit more focused and disciplined to try to get it to grow. And so they were like, well, we have a lot of cash sitting in that business that we'd like to get out of there, so that the balance sheet is zero once everything gets started. Just make it as clean as possible. We're worried about the taxes on that. So because pulling out, I don't remember what the total amount was, but it was roughly $500,000. Pulling out $500,000 of income in a year can really increase your taxable your tax liability. So we helped them structure a program in which we got them into a captive insurance program. They're able to basically treat the money that they're saving for the rainy day as an insurance company. They basically own their own insurance company that insures his business and her business, and all of the premium that they paid into that was tax-free premium. because insurance companies don't pay taxes, which is wild. All the growth on that is going to be tax free, and then it obviously has to be an insurance company, so they can't just pull the money out whenever they want. But that money in their minds was kind of illiquid, going to be staying in the business anyway. So we're then able to invest that. All the growth on that's going to be tax free. If they need to make any claims, that's a tax free claim there. So that was a really, really cool solution that we were able to make for that event. At the same time, he and his brother own his company, so we're working on a buy-sell agreement with them, getting some employee benefits in place. They have a 401k, but it's really simple and actually really expensive. So we're redesigning that. And then, of course, they've got a lot of personal planning they need to do too, because they're so busy working on what they're doing and just growing and getting these clean supplemental products into the hands of chiropractors and other professionals in the healthcare space that they haven't paid much of attention to their personal finances. So we're helping them get a plan going, get some money set aside and invested and working for them so that they can retire one day when they whenever they decide to sell the business. So that's a pretty cool thing. We're working with them still and really excited about that, because there's a lot of I talked earlier about just some of the things that people don't know that is available. I mean, nobody knows about the captive insurance thing. We were able to do something that's a pretty sophisticated thing. That's not going to apply to everybody, right? I mean, this is a pretty special situation for them, but that was just something where we were able to do something really, really cool for them. Another example would be actually these guys aren't chiropractors, but he just sold a part of his business that he owned with his family, and has a lot of money just sitting in the bank, multiple millions of dollars just sitting. And so we help them. Part of what they're concerned about is losing their money in investments and things like that. And so we're helping them get into some very conservative investments that are going to produce income enough that they can live off of $300,000 a year and not really touch their nest egg. Because if it's just sitting in the bank and they have to pull from that, they're just going broke safely. So we're helping them get a plan in place, and they actually have a lot of money sitting in life insurance policies, and we're helping them redesign their life insurance policies to make those super, super efficient and leverage a pretty sophisticated insurance strategy in which they're able to leverage the premiums and maximize the efficiency of the money that they're putting in on a 10-to-1 basis, which is wild. Their old policy, I don't remember exactly what they were putting in, but they were putting in like $100,000 a year, and they're in like 15 years they're going to be pulling out like $150 a year of income. I guess that's good, but we're able to do $100,000 a year, and then in 15 years they're going to be able to pull out almost $1 million. It's like $850,000. So really improved their overall situation for them too. And so that's a pretty exciting thing. Plus the insurance policy has a death benefit that's going to be able to protect their estate and fund a trust that'll help their kids and their kids and their kids. And so that's there's a lot that's going on there. I'll share one more win with you. It's in the space of chiropractic. We're working with a doc who's pretty well known. If I were to say his name, I think everybody would know who he is. And he and his wife have been talking with us, and they're like, man, it just feels like every year or every quarter, because they pay their taxes quarterly, they're like, it feels like every quarter the IRS just knows what's sitting in our bank account, and they tell us that our tax bill is basically that exact amount. So they feel like they're not going anywhere. And we're working with them. He owns his building that his clinic is in. And so we're actually working right now on combing through their past returns, and we're probably going to be able to amend their taxes for the past 2 or 3 years and get them a couple $100,000 back in tax credits. And so, I mean, that's pretty meaningful, getting that money right back into their pocket that they can use right now, and keep growing. And they also have a 401k that's really expensive, so we're helping them restructure that and get that going. And they got into a pretty inefficient life insurance policy as well. And so we're working with them on that too. So there's 3 wins right there that we're currently working on just in the last week or two that we're really excited about. It's really fun to be able to kind of have somebody who comes with us, and they don't necessarily have to be desperate, right? All 3 of these people are doing well, but they're just like, man, I just make sense of all this stuff. And so we help them just get it all organized and do programs that didn't really influence their personal cash flow very much. It's not like they have to save a whole bunch more money or anything like that. It's just basically they're still doing the same thing that they're doing. We're just able to help them do it more efficiently. That's pretty exciting.
No, it's really cool. And I every time I talk to you, I learn. And I think that that's the coolest thing about getting to know you guys over there at Legacy is every time I interact with you, I learn something new. And I learned that, even this is one of my daily prayers is God, look out for people that are doing good and help them more, but those that need you the most, give it to them as well. And I think that that's kind of the premise of your business is you help people that are doing well, and people that aren't, you help them reestablish and do better. And I think that those are just like baseline ideas that you can be the best business out there, but if you don't structure yourself properly, you don't plan properly, and you don't know where your financial future is going, then you might as well just go to work and enjoy yourself and not think about the next 40 years when you're done working. And I think that was the beginning of our conversation is I said, most people, when they earn money, what do they do with it? They either put it in the bank account or they put it in a checking account. And you said they spend it. So if people, even if they're making, $500,000 a year in income and they're not putting that in assets and they're not managing it and they don't know what they're doing with their cash flow, then, they've sold themselves a job and they're just out there spending their money to get to the next day. And I think that that's a real trouble spot for most people is they just, honestly, I'll tell people this all the time with the health field is most people just don't know where to go or who to trust. So by trusting us, Acen, and being a sponsor of ours, now we get a chance to give you that clout of referral saying, hey, these are the people we know, like, and trust. And these are the people that will be your liaisons and your trusted resource to get you from where you are today to where you want to be in 30 years from now, or where you want to be in a year from now, or where you want to be saving your butt from the quarter that you just spent. So there's a lot of resource that you guys provide to people. Last question, I think, before we jump off, if people were interested in joining starting like a corporate structure where they started doing like franchises, is that something you help people with as well?
Let me make sure I understand your question. So, if they're looking at buying into a franchise, like for
No,
instance,
like if they're looking to like start one and then open multiple of them, and they're like if they're like the flagship.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. We have quite a few clients who have multiple clinics, and they're kind of replicating what they're doing and growing that. Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that that's something that most people don't know how to do, and they don't know who to go to. They don't know the liabilities involved. They don't know the legalese around that. So I think that would be huge for people to know that you guys help with as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we're very adept at navigating that space as well. At the same time, like helping them. Oftentimes, before they open a second clinic, we'll work with them and we'll, dive into the P&Ls and dive into. Typically, we already have this information, but we'll dive into it again and revisit it with the client. And we'll say, okay, hey, these are your margins currently. You might want to wait until your margins at this point before you open that clinic because when you open a second clinic, there's basically you have to pay rent and utilities on two different places, and so influences the growth there. And so we try to be proactive and help solve problems before they become problems in everything, but in a situation like that.
No, that's great. Well, I know we're pushing up on the edge of our time together today. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to share with our audience today?
I don't think so. We're we appreciate the opportunity we've had to sponsor you thus far, and I listen to your podcasts most every morning when I'm driving into work. I think you're doing a great job. You and I like that you called yourself a megaphone for chiropractic, because I think that's that's a great word. You're doing a lot for the industry, and we're excited to see that, and hopefully we can both play our respective parts in helping chiropractic grow in the eye of the public, and so that we can get these people off drugs.
Yeah, I think that the more that we work together, we get to know each other's specialties and we grow in abundance with your business and what we're doing as a media company. I think that I'll need your services more sooner than later. And I know that I've already put you in with Todd Calamitas, so hopefully things are going well with you guys. But I just want to say thank you so much for helping us out with sponsorship and believing in what we do. And I'm just going to close that if that's okay.
Yeah, that works.
Hey guys, you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling and catch us on the next live stream. And we will see you out at Chiro Sushi 2018, June 21st through 24th out at the Westgate. And thank you for spending some time with me today, Acen.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
All right. See you next time.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.